Okay, hello, my name is Benatar. I am an architect, originally from Venezuela. I'm 51 years of age, and I am an architect. The reason I came to United States, specifically to New York, was to make a master in architecture, because I had the idea of developing more my skills of computer design for architecture, computer software for architecture. And when I came here, everything I knew, they were teaching the same I knew. So for me, it was a little disappointing, but I had to drop the class. I took one computer class, but I had to drop it because I already knew that. So that was a little disappointing, but then the next year, where I have the practical training visa, which I didn't know, they computerized the whole School of Architecture, making what's called now the paperless studio. Bernard Schumi, which was the dean at the time, decided that that he was going to advance more in the technology in the departments of the school. So I was there at the right time in the right place with the right knowledge. So they hired me to be the digital assistant, which was a new position that didn't exist before. So I was digital assistant for some time, and I did create the first web page that existed for the urban design department. I did it myself. I learned a little bit about HTML, and I was archiving the students' work. And then they hired me at Parsons School of Design to also create 2 digital courses, which I still teach. So I came 17 years ago, but I really never left.
So it was basically it was almost an accident.
Yeah.
Can we say?
Well, yeah. Maybe I wanted to stay, but I didn't want to really
Go back.
declare it as such, So the first year I stayed because I had this opportunity to teach in the university. Then the next year, they hired me at Parsons, which was another big opportunity, and the Columbia University was sponsoring my visa. And so I started working on my green card, and then I applied to my green card as an alien of extraordinary ability, and I got my green card. So I stayed, and then I applied for my architecture license, and I got it too. And then I applied for my passport, and I got it too. So basically, it is 17 years that I was, organizing to stay or to go. I was not clear, but things work out great, so I stayed.
Do you feel any cultural differences between from Venezuela and the U.S.?
Yeah, there are a lot of cultural differences here. Like, for example, I realized, and it's funny because when you are away from your country, you notice more the cultural things there, and you notice the difference. I see, for example, that the Anglo-Saxon cultures are very practical. So, for example, taking a 2-hour lunch is not practical. Having a fight with your boyfriend is not practical. So they are very practical. We are not practical. We take 2-hour, 3-hour, 6-hour lunch. We have fights with people just to ventilate what's frustrating you. This doesn't happen here. Like, people don't express their personal issues, for example, in work. They are very practical. I discovered that when my daughter, she came here when she was 7, and one day, I don't know how old she was, maybe 10 or 12. She asked me, like, "What's your point?" I'm like, "What?" My point will come after I finish screaming at you, So I noticed this is a culture of the point, What is the point? If you don't have a point, you're out of the game. So it's very different. We behave differently, more emotional. Here is more practical and more intellectual, I would say. Apart from that, well, I see there is this image of the Latinos that we are all the same, like Venezuelan, Chilean, Argentinian, Spanish. We're all the same in the same bucket, which we are not, and Mexicans. There is a big Mexican population here that are, working people. And they, there is this vision that we are all the same, that all the immigrants are this Mexican population of working people. that they don't really have an education. They are very hard workers, you know. I have when I first came here, I had to do a project in my master's. It was an analysis of Gramercy Park. And I went to Gramercy Park. Everybody was telling me, don't do that because, you know, Gramercy Park is private. So you're not going to be able to do your project. And I said, well, don't worry. I have the surroundings. You have to make my plan was to make a computer models of all the surrounding in the park and analyze it and see what the typologies and what buildings and materials and da. So I went there to the park first thing, and the guard was Dominican or something. In 3 minutes, I was in the park. So, you know, I was able to make my analysis from the park in to out and out to in, and you know, and then the result of my essay was how good it is to speak Spanish in this country. Because, you know, we own the city in the evening, you know what I mean? Everybody cleaning people, all the cleaning people, they are Mexicans, or, you know, South Americans, so they have access to all the important buildings, to all the government buildings, to art buildings, to, you know, banks, everywhere. So it's funny, you know, in my head, that's how I see it, that we have power. The thing is that I believe that we have not identified as such, therefore we cannot use it, but we do have power. Like, we have access to all the important buildings after 6 o'clock.
I
So,
agree.
you know, so I try to, you know, sometimes people make comments about the accent. At the beginning more, now it's more, so, you know, it's like exotic, you know, you know, yes, there is some, but I try not to take it, you know, too seriously, like people make comments about, especially because I am in a male-dominated career, which is architecture. So it's not just it's being Latin, it's being woman. But I try not to give too much attention to it, because the more attention you give to it, the more bigger it becomes. And so, you know, I continue with my work, and I try to learn from this culture and to learn from women here. I try to teach women what's the difference, because, for example, in my country, everybody thinks it's a macho culture and men are the you know, in power, but really my country specifically is the woman power. You know, we have other tools, and in my country, I believe women know how to use their power very well. We don't have to say it, you know, it's not said, but it is. You know, that's why in women in Venezuela there is all this beautiful woman reputation, because, you know, there are many doors a beautiful woman can open. So, and you don't have to necessarily be in that profession.
And do you have any relationship with the Venezuelan culture here in New York?
Yeah, sure. I have a lot of Venezuelan friends. Actually, I work for a charity that's AIDS for AIDS, who was founded by a Venezuelan friend of mine. And, you know, we are a group of Venezuelan people working for the cause. At this moment, you see this flag there, we are trying we are working for the opposition candidate politically in Venezuela to see if we can do something in the elections. So maybe we can help to change stuff there. So yeah, I maintain relationship with my country.
And do you still have people in Venezuela?
Yeah, my parents and my cousins and my friends, my childhood friends are all there. I go 2 times a year or so.
Have you ever thought in like moving back?
You know what, the thing is that when you live in New York for so long, it's difficult to think that you can go to another place. It feels like a small town, you know? Here we are very spoiled, we have everything, you know, you want to be in the middle of the world, and you want to be in your house. As you see, you know, my house, I create a small fortress for me. It's quiet, no, you don't hear anything from outside. So you can be as isolated as you want, as centered as you want. you know, yeah, I like it here for my professional ambition, let's say. I like it here. I don't know what's gonna happen because you never know. I never thought I was gonna come here for so long. If you could have asked me, I said, you're crazy. And you know, so life plan, you know, you plan life and then God decide for you.
Totally. And which is your opinion about like the politics of immigration of this country, of the US?
Well, you know, here in this country there is a problem of the double discourse. You know, it's very confusing. That's why when I'm not gonna, you know, that's why this happens here. Like people shooting people, like children going to school shooting children, because it's a confusion. You know, I think there is no clear. On one side, you know, as I told you before, we are the people here that clean because you know, a lot of people coming here, they have an education. Nobody wants to do those jobs. So immigration is positive in that sense. You have different layers of education for different types of work, which I don't see nothing wrong. You know, hopefully these people that come here and they don't have an education, they can earn enough money to send their children to school and to be more educated. So, but then in the other hand, there is this profiling they want to do now in Texas. I believe it's in Texas with this law that they can. So you know, it's not clear. I'm not very much into politics. You know, politics is not an area that I really personally like because somebody has to do it. But you know, I think that the best politics you can do is to be a good citizen, create as many works as possible. I work as much as possible with Latin people because you know we understand each other, and because I like to help my people the same way they help me, and we kind of create a niche of
so this is like
professional. Yeah, I have the workers and then
you try to like create this connection with the Latin community and like also because you understand each other better.
Yeah, and I also like, you know, and I like to help them as well. You know, I am lucky and I have education and I came here and I'm in a good position. So you know, let's say I go to the manicure. If there is a Latin girl, I choose her to do my manicure, for example. You know.
Yeah. So it's like this is like, for example, it's like, as you say, when there's like these differences between like the all the immigrants who came here to make all the jobs that are below, like during the night, in 9 hours, the job that are in 9 hours. Beside all the immigrants, like for example, you that came here and you get like a visa and student visa, and like they value you, like how the system treat them. Do you think it's fair? It's unfair? Like in the way that some of them they cannot get into the country, or they have difficulty. They have to be illegal, and
well, you know, illegal. I mean, being illegal is not good. Even being with no papers is not good. For you know, when you are doing your green card, at a certain point, your status is kind of ambiguous, so you cannot leave. You know, so that situation is bad because you're not free. Also, if you don't have a green card, you really cannot get the salary that you should get, you know? So for both, you know, for the immigrant who doesn't have papers, it's really bad. I know people, you know, that they came here and they have not been able to leave because they don't have papers. And, you know, they cannot go see their parents. They have to work illegally on their paid jobs. So that's, but in the other hand, you know, here some Americans feel that we are coming and take their jobs. I don't know, really, like.
But it's a country of immigrants at the end.
Yeah, I know. This country is a country of immigrants. So I don't understand also this kind of discourse that they want to control immigration. What? All the Mexicans are coming here. For example, now I have a friend. She was telling to me, her son just graduated in Boston from I don't know, Harvard or one of these schools, and he is now doing his master's. And they have 1 year that they can do in the entrepreneurship school. They have this program, that they can come and they work. It's not really a job, but the school invite them to make a project as if how can they make it happen. So their project. So this kid, well, it's not a kid, 20-something, the son of my friend, he has a really bright idea. But after the year end, he has to leave because he cannot have papers. So my friend was making a joke, saying, I'm encouraging to be illegal. Of course, it's not, he's not going to stay here illegal because, but you know what I mean? It's very hard for an educated person with the future to get papers as well. So it's really, for me, it was hard. And I did my papers when it was not that hard. I mean, I could do it. I sponsored myself, which, now it's harder after 9/11. It's more harder to get the papers. So I really don't know. I'm not an expert about the subject. I can talk about my own experience. So it took me years and it's a big process, you have to provide with all the documents, It's hard. I don't know what to tell you apart from that. It's not hard to be illegal. It's not easy to be illegal. And it's hard to get papers here when you just want to come and work. So I see it for other people. I don't have that experience. And my experience, thanks to God, everything went well. I can say, I didn't really have major problems. I have other friends that they were sponsored with the H-1 visa, and then I don't know if it's one of the visas, and then after a certain time you have to leave, so you cannot stay here. So if you want to stay in this country and you want to produce in this country, maybe it should be easier too. But I don't know because I don't make the rules, and I'm not so familiar with the politics of immigration. So I know one time they put me in the little room with my daughter, and it was very unpleasant. I was with a friend, and I asked, "Are you together?" And I said yes because we were, together in the plane and in the line. So something happened with my friend, I don't know, and they put us all, including me with my daughter, little in the little room in the airport. And they have people with handcuffs, criminals, and me, my daughter there. I'm like, what are we doing here? Shut up, So, but I guess, I don't know.
And the rules.
Why are you asking me this question?
No, I'm asking you because this project is also related about the project wants to talk about this, about all the differences between cultures and how this is a country. One of the main reasons because the project is happening in New York is because I doubt there is other city in the world where all the different cultures and ethnicities are living together and how they cohabitate together in this island specifically. And I'm always interested in the opinion of an immigrant as their experience when they have to face the laws, the system of immigration of this country, which is a country that was made of immigrants. And
but I was explaining to you, there is this double discourse. I didn't finish that. There is this thing about alcohol. Oh my God, alcohol! Wow, And one of the first consumer of alcohols in the world is America. Same with drugs. Same with sex. So there is this, puritanic and super liberal.
Conservative liberal.
So, and then you see it in politics, even for the president now, it's just this liberal or Britannic. It's not middle ground, and I guess people get confused. In New York is an exception, Here, for example, what is urbanity? Urbanity is the more people living in peace in an urban setting. So you don't get into my business, I don't get into your business, we're all happy. That's why here in New York everybody is in their business, but it's a perfect situation where everybody lives happy, everybody goes to the subway, everybody comes out of the subway. It's not like people hitting each other. it's kind of respect. People know how to respect the laws of urbanity. In New York, it's not. I don't know, in the border with Mexico, maybe.
Yeah, no, I know. It's like here is like
This is a niche. An exception.
special case, a total exception. Yeah.
And that's what's fantastic about New York. I don't know if I want to go, to another state.
Mm-hmm.
If I have, maybe I go to my country instead,
Yeah, that's was like.
So I like New York because it's New York.
Question I wanted to ask
Yeah.
you. Yeah. If would you go? My other question would be like, do you feel American now that you have a passport? Let's say so.
Well, I feel, in a way, I am American, so whether I feel or not, I am American. I have something, when I go, it's funny because when I go to my country, say, oh, you're so American,
Mm-hmm.
They think I'm American. So it's funny like this. I guess when you live enough in a place, you understand the culture and you try to behave accordingly, you know what I mean? So I don't feel American like a hot dog, maybe, but I am American, so,
Yeah.
you know.
So you feel American and like what you?
So I am American, it's
We
not what I
consider-
feel I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not, I cannot be like, like somebody with hundreds of years in America, they have these roots here,
Yeah.
I don't have it. But I am American.
Yeah.
And when I tell people, they tell me, where are you from? I say, I'm American. And they say, it's like, that's not possible. But I am American,
Yeah.
So that's also the contradiction, because this country, as you say, is made out of immigrants. I'm one of those.
Yeah.
I am an American immigrant
You would.
with an accent.
Yes. Yeah, well, I think now the last question I wanted to ask is if you can recommend me a plant, tree, or vegetable that is or native from your country of origin and it's also possible to find it here in the US.
Bueno, the flower of my country, like the flag, is the orchid. So, I guess you can find them here. I've seen them. So, and it's a beautiful flower.
Yeah, it is. Okay.